Hello, everybody. I am yet again Price McKinney, simply put. And as always, I want to thank you for tuning in and listening. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok with by Price McKinney, YouTube on Tuesdays. Simply put podcast with your boy, Price McKinney. Like, subscribe, watch a video, leave a comment. But make sure you subscribe to the podcast. So I'm gonna talk. This is gonna be. I've got a question to ask, and it might spin into another question, which is fine. Um, because there's there are a lot of people right now that are single, and sometimes it kind of bothers me because it's like, and I've said this before. There's this big pool of people. It's man versus woman, woman versus man. What he's not going to deal with, what she's not going to deal with, and it's like we're at a stalemate. So a part of um, what I go to do is hopefully this helps the videos and the information help bring people together. That's the objective. Um, so having said that, I've got a question that I want to ask, and however you deal with it is how you deal with it. But it's something that all of us have to, whether it doesn't matter if you're in a relationship or not. Even if you're married or you already got a significant other, still a question you can ask yourself: what am I looking for? Um, and that becomes it can that can potentially be a loaded question because most people, not all, this ain't cookie cutter. Most people don't have a clue what they're looking for, what they want, even what they need. And so let's start with this. I'm just talking to my peeps. Are you looking to be taken care of? Are you, and this goes both ways. Some of it is more male dominated. Some of it goes both ways. Are you looking to be taken care of? Are you looking for financial gain? Are you looking to dig down in his pockets? Are you, sir, looking for a body count? You just stacking bodies. You just looking to bump the bangables. Um, do you need security in terms of somewhere to stay, somewhere to live, somewhere stable and stationary where you can reside? Because for whatever reason, maybe life is life and you just can't right now get it together and you just need somebody to hang on to that's going to pull you on through. Um, are you looking for a cutie with a booty? Are you looking for a man with muscles, or you just you want to be taken care of, you want to be supported, um, you want, and I hate to say it this way, but it happens a lot. Are you looking for, indirectly, are you looking for a parent? Meaning you're looking for that person is going to cater to you and take care of you. Um, do A, B, C, and D while you just sit back and reap the benefits. Um, Figure out and narrow that down. Whatever it is you're genuinely looking for. And here's what most of the time you don't hear people say, and it doesn't matter if it's male or female. Um, but this is something that's you seldom ever hear people say. I want somebody to treat me right. Normally, it starts out with all of the other stuff, in particular the tangibles. Um, how much money they make, how she's built, what kind of car they drive, what kind of house they live in, how do they dress, do they keep their hair done, or for the man, does he keep his hair cut? Um, Normally, it leads with the tangibles, but the intangibles are that's what really sustains the relationship over the course of time. Short term, those things play their part, but long term, that's what's going to keep the relationship together. Because the tangibles can go away, the tangibles can fade. But how does that person treat you? Do they give you what they think you're supposed to have or what you're actually asking for? And have you communicated that to this person? What is it you want? What is it you need? Don't take for granted that the person should, well, he ought to know me. She ought to know me. That's true to a degree. But have you communicated this? Don't ever just assume because you've been with a person X amount of time or because you know them in these particular ways or in this one category per se. Don't assume that that's what you're supposed to be doing with them and for them. Because, and I've said this before, you can do the right thing the wrong way. And how you eliminate that or how you discover that is simply open your mouth and ask, "Hey, is this cool? Do I need to make adjustments? And do a check-in from time to time. Don't be afraid of that. Ask them, "Hey, let's take a TV timeout, right? Let's have a conversation. Am I doing enough or am I doing too much?" And ask that person specifically, just and be okay with the answer that you get. Again, don't assume that it's going to be what you think it is, because you change, the person changes. So starting out in the beginning of your relationship, that might have worked, right? Because that's what a person was. But as you've grown and as she's grown and as he's grown, that need may change. So you might have to taper some of what you've been doing off or add to something else that you haven't been doing. Be okay with that. It doesn't mean, sir, ma'am, it doesn't mean that they become a bad person. It doesn't mean even that that's not your person. It just sometimes it's just like in football. I'm a God bless my heart. Y'all pray for me. I'm a diehard Dallas fan. I always have been. It just is what it is. So, football analogy. Sometimes the quarterback will have a play that he's going to call, right? Gets to the line of scrimmage, reads the defense, and he has to call something else because of what he now sees. Now, coming before he got in the huddle, this is what the plan is. Once he broke the huddle, they get to the line of scrimmage. The lineup is different than what he expected, so he's got to make an adjustment. Meaning, what they call it in football, he calls an audible, meaning he changed the play at the line of scrimmage. So you see him hollering this way, hollering that way, and everybody's communicating back and forth. You might have to, sir, ma'am, you might have to get to the line of scrimmage and call an audible. That is totally okay. It's completely, totally okay. Just make sure that you communicate what you're looking for in the beginning. 5, 10, 15 years down the road, even a couple of months in, it might change depending on where you are at that point in your life. Everything is not etched in stone. So you might have to do some things different. There's nothing wrong with that. But you have to be able to create an environment, create a safe space for the both of you to talk and communicate and express what it is that you desire, what it is you want, what it is that you need. Because you best believe, and please understand this. And I'm not pushing this. I'm not advocating it by no means. But like they say in baseball, there's always somebody warming up in the bullpen. So when you think that you got it like that, and maybe you do, I'm not knocking your hustle, but don't take for granted that you got it so that you're doing such a great job that nobody else can do what you do. I hear stories and oh my God, stories all the time where mm, you know, couple is everything's going good and all of a sudden bam, just takes a hard left and it's like I don't know, I don't even know what I did. But this is where we are, and so again, this is where communication is key. So you don't get blindsided with and let me say this too. You can't please everybody. Sometimes some people just They don't want what you have. They don't want who you are. They don't want what you bring to the table. They don't want it. They don't want you. Some people are not content and comfortable with having a good person with them because they've never had it. And when you never had something, sometimes it's hard to accept and deal with and make necessary adjustments and changes to keep this. Some people just don't have it. And it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. Don't take it that way. Some people they're comfortable and content in chaos. They don't want peace. They don't want calm. They don't want that to be their normal. There's got to be some extra going on. And if you're with somebody like that, you're going to do something different. But some people, as long as you're doing what you are supposed to be doing, and you're communicating and you're having conversations, and if that person pulls up all of a sudden, hey, I don't want this anymore. You can't make somebody want you. That is a hard pill to swallow, folks. You cannot make that person want you. And if they decide that they want to look for something else because now they're in a different space, a different place in life, you can't fight it if you have to, depending on where you are in your relationship. But in some cases, you may just have to let the rope go and let them go on their way and do what they do. Um, I don't recommend it. I don't suggest it. It's anytime you separate, within a relationship, especially if you've been married, it is challenging. It is painful. It is. That's why you always hear me say, at some point in some video, get you some professional help if you have to. Um, I recommend it because it worked for me. So I'm not going to tell you anything I don't know. But again, know what it is that you're looking for. Know what it is that you want, need. Um, Express that to your person, and don't feel bad. And if you're in a situation where that person doesn't want to hear what it is that you have to say, and when you come at them with, well, let's have a conversation about it, even if your approach is light and delicate, and it just you just automatic it's going to turn into something more than what it doesn't need to be. You have to figure something out because life is too short, and if you with somebody, you don't have peace and you can't communicate. um if you don't have that as the foundation of your relationship, you cannot build, you cannot grow. You have to be able to talk. That's non-negotiable. So again, know what you want, know what you're looking for. If you don't know what it is, take a TV time out and figure that out. Sit down, process it, think through it, and figure that out. Again, I'm Price McKinney's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Simply put, by Price McKinney. YouTube on Tuesdays. Simply put, podcast with your boy Price McKinney. Again, I'm not an expert. I just know what I know, and I promise you, I'll see you soon.